How do you secure yourself no matter what the job market is doing? I think this is a necessary follow-up to yesterday's video about Tabitha Brown and her suggestion for struggling entrepreneurs to look for a stable job or reconsider the 9 to 5 life. I appreciate the people who commented on that video. You can go check it out. As of now, I think there were about four. But the four were like really thorough, really detailed, really nuanced. And even the ones that disagreed, I appreciated it because it's helping me understand better. Those who felt like attacked, personally attacked by her words, where they were coming from. So I did want to address one thing, the 300,000 corporate layoffs for Black women. Um, they felt Tabitha was insensitive and out of touch by saying just get a job when almost, I mean, you could almost say almost 500,000. Yeah, Black women were laid off. Um, I think I kind of alluded to this in the comments response, but this concept of job security doesn't really exist. And it's fascinating because it's like the word itself is contradictory. Job security, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's a mom and pop shop, anyone at any point can decide to release you. And that is probably the hardest part about work in general. Like, either way, there is a risk. The thing about entrepreneurship, the risk is not being able to pay yourself a salary for the first few years. That is most people's story. That was my story. I didn't make enough to pay a salary for myself. And Morgan Devon, the founder of Afrotech and Blabbity, which is now a multi-million-dollar platform for Black tech, entrepreneurship, travel, all the things, futuristic AI. Um, yeah, she talked about not being able to pay herself a salary for the first 3 years. And she had a side hustle to be able to afford to pay the bills of the contractors and employees of the main business. So, whether the word even side hustle makes more sense for you because you might call yourself an entrepreneur because you're building or creating something or offering a service, but you have not been profitable. So, maybe side hustle is more of a correct or a more accurate depiction because when you're hustling something on the side, it's not really that official. You're kind of maybe still testing the waters. I had a lot of side hustles in college and as a teenager because I wasn't sure what the actual path for my career was. And I think the best thing that side hustles do is help you sustain discipline and consistency, but it keeps you fresh and it keeps you hungry. I know that first and foremost, let me just say Black women overqualified in almost every sense of the word, incredibly intelligent, incredibly sophisticated, incredibly XYZ, all the things, right? Every corporate woman I know that is a Black woman in the US has ticks every box that exists. So smart. Black women that work in corporate are so smart. Black women in general, very intelligent. And the tricky thing is, a lot of the gig economy right now, which is Uber, Lyft, TaskRabbit, Instacart, a lot of that is way below Black women's pay grade. And I made this analogy, metaphor in a comment response to yesterday's video, Tabitha Brown's video, where I said, if I've been walking through a desert and I am parched, the minute I see a fountain, it could be tap water, a fountain of water, it could be a well, um, anything. I am going to drink that. My preference in water might be Aquafina bottles, but if I have just been through a desert and I need hydration to survive, I am going to go for the water that's available to me. And I can't talk about my preference when all I see is a fountain and there's tap water. Like sometimes you have to be willing to say, I have to put my preferences to the side. Like, you will be successful. Let me just first say this. Anyone who pursues and persist long enough, it is inevitable, almost guaranteed that you will be successful. Because entrepreneurship, it's not only a thinking sport, it's a long-term strategy. It's a long game. The people that aren't looking for quick wins, quick fixes, overnight successes, those are the people that actually sustain themselves for decades and build an incredible career, living life on their own terms. However, because so much of that takes time, if you are in year one or two where it's still a struggle and it's still very much like, I don't even know the direction I'm supposed to go next. I'm just trying a bunch of things and hoping one of them makes money. Even if you're in that place, understand that if someone, if you have a car, that in itself is an opportunity. You can rent out your car, you can pick up people from your car, obviously Uber or Lyft. You can do Instacart and pick up people's groceries. Now, these might not sound like sexy positions, and that's the thing about desperation is that you can't really afford to be picky. And there were many seasons of my life where I was like, if this is what it is, one of my first times visiting the motherland in the continent, I visited Morocco first over 10 years ago. And there was a platform called Couchsurfing, couchsurfing.org. And what a lot of us study abroad students did is that when people came to our country, we let them stay in our dorm. And when I visited their country, they let me stay in their dorm. And it was all of us like broke backpackers looking out for each other. Anyways, I was traveling with two French girls, and they were less, um, I don't want to say less traveled, but I guess I was a little bit more comfortable with solo travel and travel in general. So when we couch shift together, our host, which was like a Moroccan family, super generous, super kind to let us stay with them. But there was like one bed and then like a carpet. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep with, these they came together, they're friends, they get the bed basically. And I slept on this beautifully designed Moroccan carpet. And I think I used my backpack as some sort of a pillow. And I still have such fond memories of that trip. And I got to see so much and do so much for the first time. And because I traveled in a way where I'm like, I'm probably not going to be able to afford to come back here again. Let me try to tick off all of the excursions, activities, things that you could possibly do here. So that said, my preference to visit Morocco for the first time is not to sleep on a carpet. Probably not sleeping on a carpet. It's to stay at the most gorgeous vintage riad in Marrakesh. It's to camp in the desert and just have something that's magical and unique. That is my preference. However, if someone told me the first way that you're going to get to Morocco is through sleeping on a carpet, your first accommodation there, I'd be like, okay, but I'm in Morocco, right? I would make sure that, the task was accomplished. My goal was to travel and build up a resume of experiences and trips that I've taken so other companies could hire me to take trips on their behalf or to market to my audience who was then really committed to following my advice or tips on travel destinations and places. Okay, so I'm just like kind of rambling and excuse my slight exhaustion. As I mentioned, we are in Croatia finishing up a couple's retreat, and today was the vulnerability day. It was like the intense emotional day. And let me just say what a blessing it is to have a safe space where you could talk about real relationship stuff without the shame, without the fear, without the gossip. Just like getting to the root of like, oh, I can appreciate that about your love story and this about our love story. And how do we compare notes and pour into each other and hold space for each other? There's a lot of tender moments today. So, of course, I was the first one to cry. So yeah, I'm still kind of like, oof, just conversations are like a love language in itself. Just being able to hold a steady, rich, fulfilling conversation is so just the best feeling. Okay. Um, I want to wrap this up, but I'll say that if you recognize AI as a threat, you have already lost. I need you, person who is looking for a job, person who needs supplemental income, person who understands that nothing in this world will stay the same. And if the only constant is change, then we might as well evolve with it. If you cannot choose the change, then figure out a way to cherish it. I don't look at the algorithms and the features and the always evolving landscape of social media. I just adapt. All that time I would spend complaining about a new feature for 2, 3 weeks, posting about it, bringing people's energy down. That same energy could be applied into learning the actual thing that I'm presenting. So I just want us to have a perspective of just there's nuance. There's nuance, there's depth, there's understanding, and there's context. So if there is any AI beginner course, AI YouTube channel, AI anything, it would be in your best interest. Be in your best interest to start learning. And you could be the person. I want you to go rewatch my, or go look for it if you haven't seen it. If I had to start from scratch, here's exactly how I would do it. I think the thumbnail has something about $1,000. Basically, if I started from zero, how would I make money and build a business within like days, if not weeks? So yeah, you have to watch that in its entirety because it's too much to explain for this video, and I'm getting really sleepy. Oh, these are the days where this habit of posting daily really kicks in. Hmm. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so allowing yourself to learn AI, allowing yourself to upskill and learn different things about especially the digital world. When the boom, dot com boom, the dot com boom era happened, like the late 90s, there were so many companies and people that said, you know what? I can't control this dot com boom. I don't even know what it is. But if I allow myself to stay open to learning how it actually enhances our work, our customer service, our systems, then maybe I can look at it as an opportunity to lean in and grow. So, yeah, it's just reminding me of that. And I'm on my last brain cell. I have nothing else. Um, I want y'all to remember as well there are people on Instagram actively committed to teaching AI in sustainable and fresh ways. So just search AI creator and see what trigger AI creations. I don't know. But I want you all to actively seek out AI information and see how you can apply it. For example, you are just sitting at home applying for jobs and you're sick of it. I want you to search for, think of like one industry. It could be food catering, it could be plumbing, it could be a carpenter, whatever, carpenting, it could be any line of trade. And I want you to pretend to book all of these offers and services. Go through their process so that you can understand, oh, here's what I'm actually um I had a glitch. I really need to go to bed. It's like something just scooped out in the middle of my sentence. Go through the process of booking a service. And as soon as you get to a point where it's stuck or it's no longer automated, that is a pain point. And you bring that up to the person saying, hey, I noticed when I tried to book a nail appointment, it told me to wait or to request a time. Whereas you can ask for a deposit and people can be booking without your approval so that you're making money that is not contingent upon you being available to process the appointment. So finding the gap in small businesses and presenting an offer that you can actually do. And again, the more you learn about AI, the more you learn about tech and digital skills, the more marketable you become and the more manageable um, money opportunities are. I don't want you to ever feel like you have to figure out the one and only way. Like my pursuit and my passion has to make it. Like I just gotta give it 5 more years. And I appreciate a diligent sower and someone who will not quit on their dreams. I also think that there needs to be a healthy balance and boundaries around what days am I actually committed to pursuing stable opportunities that will help funnel into the actual passion? And how much longer can I afford to like live like this? If you were helping people build their first websites in 1997, you are most definitely a multi, I want to say billionaire. I mean, because I just think about the compounding effects of being one of the first to leverage a new tool and technology and opportunity. And whether you're ambitious or whether you just desire something different, you have literally nothing to lose. And you will gain the experience and you will also figure out, is this actually enjoyable? Because if you're moving into software engineering and all of these hyper technical fields that require you to be logistically sound, and you know that's not going to be fulfilling for you in the long run, you have to decide what artistic skill can I develop alongside this very serious one. Okay, I glitched a few times, but if you made it to the end, thank you very much. And drop a comment and say noodle. Yeah, drop a comment and say noodle if you made it all the way to this point. If you are new here, be sure to like and subscribe for an entire year of free coaching. You're not going to want to miss this. I have been an entrepreneur for over 2 decades and I am spilling and sharing all the tea. I'm also open to your questions. So if you have any, feel free to ask it in the comment section and I will either answer it there or make a whole video about it like this. So, yeah, this has been fun. And of course, in the video description, you can also find my coaching not for 90 days for less than 50 cents a day. And that's actually on sale for a little bit. So, for those who are starting their creative reset, enjoy. And I will see y'all after you click these. I will see y'all tomorrow. Lord.